Alyssa. Before I start doing the review, I want to show everyone. Well, Sylvia, you probably heard her. She's probably been in fleeting instances of most of my videos, but you've never actually gotten to see her for more than like 5 seconds. So I'm going to try to hold her up and let you see her without this turning into a domestic violence incident. She doesn't like to be held, so this is the longest she's actually been on my lap since I first got her. But this is little Sylvia. Say hello, everybody. Say hello. No, don't kick. Say hello. Ow. Okay. Well, at least you got to see Sylvia. Okay, so in this week's episode of RuPaul's Drag Race, I think it was called Draggle Rock, was the subtitle of this episode. They had to put on a kids show, but I mean, the kids had nothing to do with this episode. It actually RuPaul didn't have really much of anything to do with this episode because it was the Coco Montrese versus Alyssa Edwards show. Now, a lot of reviewers on YouTube that follow this show, I've heard a lot of them say, I sure hope that they tell more about the background of this story, the Coco versus Alyssa story, because it's probably going to be pretty juicy. Well, a lot of these reviewers are also subscribed to my videos, and they just gave it away that they don't watch my videos through to the entirety, because the predictions video and the casting video, I pretty much laid out word for word what happened on this episode. I've already told you what happened between Coco and Alyssa, about the crown being taken away by Coco from Alyssa, Miss Gay America pageant, and then, of course, Coco was making the rounds with the gay media, the GLBT media, explaining why she was now the winner. And she was saying, that, her and Alyssa were still friends, but sometimes you just have to follow through on your obligations. And she was pretty much saying that Alyssa had gotten the crown taken away from her because she was not doing what she was supposed to be doing as a winner of the crown. Apparently, Alyssa says this is the first time that anyone's had the crown taken away from them, so it's really embarrassing. It ruined her life. For Coco, it ruined her life because of the drama that it caused, and I guess Coco was set up or being talked about as being the illegitimate winner, like the George W. Bush of the 2000 election. And then you had Alyssa over here, who was like the Al Gore of the election, and she was kind of pissed off that the crown was stolen away from her. It was pretty much just a whiny drama fest. We knew when the cast was announced that this was going to be the story all year. Your Fifi versus Sharon. Every year there's a drama between two queens. It's either Raja versus Shangela, Alexis versus Mimi. This year it's going to be Alyssa versus Coco. I almost, for a moment, thought that Alyssa and Coco were going to end up lip-syncing for their life on the stage together in this episode, but it didn't turn out that way. Instead, they had Coco up on stage, having to lip-sync against Monica Beverly Hills, and you kind of knew that Monica Beverly Hills was going to go home anyway, because this is her second week in a row being in the bottom 2, and she did poorly in the challenges, so you knew she was going to go home. But Coco, had to steal a page from Monica Beverly Hills' playbook from last week. Last week it was Monica that was up on the runway crying, letting out her secret that she's a transgendered female. And then this week, it came right after one of the judges told her that she needed to learn how to steal the spotlight. So what does she do? She steals the spotlight. She starts breaking down on stage, crying, talking about, how much this friendship meant to her, and this crown being taken away. This whole drama mess, with her being crowned Miss Gay America. It ruined that friendship. She stole the spotlight, and she ended up winning that lip sync. And, of course, they did the dramatic pose of Alyssa in the background being outside that Coco is going to probably be going home. Bitch, you know this girl. You know that she is not going home because Coco is a fierce lip syncer. Coco used to be from the Tampa Bay area. And it kind of pissed me off earlier in the episode when Coco was talking about Las Vegas and, you know, how she's used to being the center of the show in Las Vegas. Most of her career, she was not in Las Vegas. She's only repping Las Vegas now that she's moved there. But she was a Florida girl for many, many years. And maybe her strategy in choosing Las Vegas as her stomping ground is because traditionally, Florida girls haven't done that well. I mean, Nina Flowers, you know, she did quite well. Alexis Mateo did quite well in her season, and I mean, she went to All-Stars too, so. But other than that, the Florida Queens haven't really done that well. Oh, Latrice Royale, gotta say Latrice Royale, she also went to All-Stars. But in this season, it's Detox and Roxy are running the show. So I think a Florida Queen will end up winning. It'll be ironic if Coco ends up in the final 3. Because I'm pretty sure it's going to be Detox and Roxy. Maybe Coco. That would be funny. 3 Florida Queens, and one of them has given up on Florida and is repping Las Vegas. But I mean, once she did the lip sync, I was like, yes, girl, you are definitely Vegas, because that was a great lip sync. So, I gotta give her that. And why wouldn't she win? I mean, she was up against Monica Beverly Hills. Monica is just... Hold on. Wait. Monica is just... Sorry for the distraction. Gotta go back to my notes here. I mean, the notes are right here. Oh well. Okay. Now, going on to Alaska. I love Alaska. I love Detox, Roxy, and Alaska. And I think it's going to carry them quite far. The 3 of them in their little alliance. But RuPaul, when they were getting ready to do the main challenge, which their main challenge had to do with doing this little kids show, which was a demented kids show, kind of reminds me of the show Wonder Chosen, used to run on MTV. If you've never seen Wonder Chosen, you've got to check it out. It is hilarious. It's subversive, but it's hilarious. When RuPaul was getting the lowdown on what they were going to do for their group, she asked Alaska, you know, who are you? And Alaska's like, I'm going to be Buffalo Bill. Then RuPaul acted like, I mean, she had to have hear it. She had to have heard that Alaska was doing Buffalo Bill. She saw the way that Alaska was dressed. I mean, everybody else in the workroom kind of had their costume. And Alaska looked exactly the way when she did the main challenge. When she came out for the actual shoot, she looked the same way there as she did in the workroom. I mean, she was Buffalo Bill in the workroom. She told you, RuPaul, that she was going to be Buffalo Bill. Not Buffalo, you know, Belinda. It's Buffalo Bill is what Alaska said that he was going to be. And then RuPaul acted like he was shocked that Alaska came out and did boy drag. Now, granted, Alaska, as a boy, looks like a lesbian. So, I mean, Alaska came out as a drag king. It's still drag. I mean, RuPaul, are you RuPaul or are you Helen Keller? I mean, that's basically what it boils down to, because you heard what she was going to be as a character, and then you acted surprised when she came out as Buffalo Bill. If you had a problem with it, you should have said something in the workroom, rather than bitch about it when they're actually doing the main challenge. And can we talk for a minute about Ivy Winters? Again, Ivy Winters kind of faded into the background this episode, just like she did in episode 1. No one's going to be talking about Ivy Winters. But I would like to talk a little bit about Ivy Winters. Ivy Winters out of drag is far more fascinating to me than Ivy Winters in drag. Because Ivy Winters seems to have more styles as a guy than as a female impersonator. Last week, Ivy Winters was dressed up with the glasses and the little bow tie, and, you know, I said looked like Tyler Oakley. If you don't know who Tyler Oakley is, it's YouTube star. But had that preppy, nerdy look, and this week it was kind of like a rock star look. But he was wearing a domino or some shit as an earring. I don't know what the hell that thing was, but it was very distracting. Apparently it was distracting to the other queens, too, when they broke up for the main challenge, because when they got into their groups to do the main challenge, that domino was gone. He didn't have anything in his ear at that point. So, I mean, that was all I remember about Ivy Winters from this episode, was the thing dangling from his ear. I don't really recall anything about the runway. Everybody was dressed in pink for the runway, which was nice. But the background was also pink, so they kind of blurred out. They kind of faded into the background. And I didn't think that was a very smart production. They should have at least edited the background to be a different color, maybe a darker purple. But no, they kind of bleached it. And RuPaul threw shade at Lanesha on the runway when, you know, they were getting their critiques. And RuPaul goes, Lanesha, it's a good thing that you have immunity this week, because you would be up for elimination. Of course she'd say that. Now, Lanesha, her portrayal in their main challenge video, in their kids show, was not all there. She was a translator in Spanish, but she was getting a lot of the words wrong. I love the part where they were translating cherries, and she says the Spanish word for strawberries, and Michelle Visage is just like, ooh. Ooh. That's what really killed it for her, because, I mean, she looked fabulous. She looked fabulous on the runway. So, I just think her performances in the main challenge, kind of like Monica Beverly Hills, are just not all there. Monica Beverly Hills looks fierce on the runway, but it's not all about the runway.